A guy spends hours attempting to chop down a tree until his neighbor steps in and asks, "You know what? Why don't you try sharpening your saw first? That way you can go through the tree much more quickly." But the guy just scoffed and said sharpening the saw would take a long time. "I just don't have the time right now." This looks like a ridiculous circumstance, but in fact, most of us are the ones using the dull saw. We complain about how bad our finances are, but we can't even find an hour a week to find a book about personal finances and get better at managing our own money. It's weird that people complain about their health, inability to focus, and lack of sleep, but they don't find time to work out at least once or twice a week. The man who doesn't work out and then complains about not having enough time is like the guy who tries to chop down a tree with a dull saw. You already know about the deal. People who are successful always want to learn more, which is why they are successful. You finish school, get a good job, and don't leave that job until you have to. Given this, how can you ensure that your saw remains razor sharp? When asked why they do, successful individuals often cite the 5-hour rule. In this video, we'll talk about what the rule is about and how it makes one successful. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our video updates. Plus, it helps us spread the Thrive Wise love to help more people thrive wisely. Now, let's begin. The 5-hour rule. No matter how hectic their schedules may be, successful individuals always make time to study or practice a new skill for at least 5 hours a week. And they continue doing this throughout their whole working lives. Even though it is a basic concept, it's the driving force behind most successful individuals, and it has shown fruitful results. Benjamin Franklin, a founding father who was also a scientist, inventor, writer, and noted for regularly putting aside time to study, is often credited as the originator of this rule. Reading and writing were always his first priorities upon waking up. Another man, Warren Buffett, has most of his days spent reading, despite the fact that he is perhaps the best investor of all time and has more money than he could ever spend. I think he discovers such wonderful investments since he reads around 600 pages every day. This is how learning works. Similar to compound interest, it adds up over time. His wealthy friend Charlie Munger once stated, "I constantly see people rise in life who are not the smartest, sometimes not even the most diligent, but they are learning machines. They go to bed every night a little wiser than they were when they got up. And boy does that help, particularly when you have a long run ahead of you." However, it's hardly surprising that reading is the primary reason for Buffett's success. The creator of PayPal and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk, is also said to have taught himself rocketry through reading. When the idea of SpaceX originally crossed his mind, no one else was willing to take the helm. So Elon Musk, the company's creator, had to teach himself rocket science. Even though he has more money than the great majority of you will ever see in your lifetime, Bill Gates, who likewise requires no introduction, reads at least one book every year. The book he recommends the most are available on his channel. Yes, even Bill Gates has his own YouTube channel. In the short term, Benjamin Franklin would do less when he spent an hour reading or studying. But in the long run, he would be smarter and more productive as a result. It makes no difference how famous or wealthy the individual is. They have made education a priority in their life, which is why they are billionaire toppling community leaders, teachers of the years, and award-winning engineers. There was a friend of mine who shared this story. When I initially started investing, I'd spent weeks researching a single business in order to locate a solid choice. Back then, I was terrible at all of these things. But after taking a course in accounting and finance, I quickly improved. I am now able to swiftly read and evaluate financial accounts and know what information is most important to focus on while reading quarterly reports. Now that I've picked up a few tricks, I can examine a company considerably more quickly and efficiently, saving me a ton of time. In the time it used to take me to study a single company, I can now examine 12. I didn't get much done during the course itself, but I've saved a ton of time and improved the quality of my life as a result. Most individuals stay in the same work for years without ever learning anything new or improving their skills, even if they might be making much more money in the time if they did. Now, how do you do this 5-hour rule? Okay, before answering that question, I'd like you to help me out in some way. Immediately pause this video and please do me a huge favor by clicking like, and if you are new, kindly click subscribe. If you did, you're great, and we really appreciate your help. Rest assured we'll bring you more videos that will help you thrive wisely. And going back, here's how to put the 5-hour rule into practice. Separate what you've learned into 3 different groups. The first is basic skills like how to communicate, manage money, and eat well. For example, the more you work on your social skills, the better your social life will be, and the easier it will be to make new friends or connections. And trust me, people don't value connections enough. Sometimes all you need for a business to do well is one good connection. Second is general knowledge. The world moves too fast, and with every new idea, there are new chances. Those who keep up with the latest technology are the ones who use them. One good example is crypto. Anyone who has spent at least a few hours learning about them when they weren't popular has probably made a few $1,000,000 from them. You could say the same thing about the internet, electric cars, and other things. What do you know? There will always be more chances, so learn as much as you can. Lastly, work on getting better at your job. No matter what you do for a living, there are always ways to do it faster, better, and easier. As an investor, I spend a lot of time reading. Before I choose a company to invest in, I read everything I can about it to make sure I'm making the right choice. Speed reading is one of the best skills I've learned. What took me an hour to read before now takes me at most 20 minutes. Or when I'm researching a topic for a video, I have to read a lot. Sometimes I have to read an entire book just to make a video. Speed reading helps a lot to speed up the process at times like these. The 5-hour rule has 3 main parts. The first one is to read. If you don't think you can handle an hour, start with 20 or 30 minutes. If you don't have time for that, listen to an audiobook instead. Second, think about it. Not only should you read, but you should also make sure you get the most out of what you read. Ask questions and give some thought to the answers. What you read always has more to it than what you see at first. And finally, try things out. Did you learn something? Give it a try. Because of their experiments, Ben Franklin and Thomas Edison became 2 of the most important inventors and thinkers of their time. Google lets its employees try out new ideas, which is how we got Gmail. Experiments help you figure out what works. If you can't use what you know in real life, it doesn't help you much. If you make learning a habit, you'll probably be more successful and productive in many areas of your life. You can make sure you're growing by making reading a habit. Well, that's basically the 5-hour rule. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this, then you will probably learn a lot more from watching this other video. How to invest in 2023 to get rich in 2024. If you click on the screen right now, you can go and watch that. Do you want to learn more on how to thrive wisely? What videos would you want to watch next? Feel free to comment down below. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button to see more videos on how to thrive wisely. Till next time.